My pregnant ex-girlfriend just destroyed my entire life with a single Facebook post, and now complete strangers are showing up at my apartment building with flyers that have my face on them. But here's the part that keeps me up at night. She's not even pregnant with my baby, and I have the screenshots to prove it. I, 28M, need to know if I'm losing my mind here or if this situation is actually as insane as it feels. Throwaway account because my main has my name and this is already a circus. Background because context matters. I was with my ex Jessa, 27F, for 3 years. We met through mutual friends at a barbecue, hit it off immediately, and within a year we were living together. We had 2 cats, Leo and Cleo, that we raised from kittens. We talked about marriage, not in a ring on one knee way, but in a when we get married way, you know. It felt solid. About 6 months ago, things started shifting. Little things. She became obsessed with her phone, not like casual scrolling, but angle away from me typing with this intense focus. She'd jump if I walked up behind her. I asked her about it maybe 4 or 5 times over a 2-month period. Every single time she'd get defensive, then switch to offended that I didn't trust her, then cry about how she'd never cheat because her dad cheated on her mom, and she knew the damage it caused. She swore on her grandmother's grave, who she was extremely close with, that it was just work stress, and her friend Maya, going through a crisis that she was counseling her through privately. I felt like a paranoid jerk every time I brought it up, so I stopped. 2 months ago, I had to go on a work trip, 3 days, out of state, nothing major. The last day of the trip, my afternoon flight got canceled, and the earliest rebooking they could give me was the next morning. I said screw it, rented a car, and drove 5 hours home because I was exhausted and just wanted my own bed. I didn't text her I was coming back early because it was 11 p.m. and I figured she'd be asleep, and I'd just surprise her in the morning. I walked into our apartment at 2:30 a.m. The living room light was on. I heard voices, not loud voices, but voices. I rounded the corner and saw Jessa on the couch with a guy. She was curled into him, his arm around her. They weren't doing anything sexual in that moment, but the intimacy was obvious. The way she was tucked into his side, the way his hand was rubbing her shoulder, the way they both froze when they saw me. The guy was Marco, her personal trainer, the one she'd been seeing 3 times a week for the last 4 months. The one she said was just a really motivating trainer and completely professional. Marco stood up so fast he nearly tripped over the coffee table. He was wearing sweats and a t-shirt, not exactly gym clothes. At 2:30 a.m., he started stammering something like, "Man, this isn't what it looks like," which is literally always what it looks like. Jessa just sat there with her face completely white, not saying a word. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just looked at her and said, "Get out." Marco grabbed his jacket and practically ran for the door. Jessa started trying to talk, something about how she was going to tell me, something about how it just happened, something about how she still loved me. I cut her off and said, "Get your stuff and get out now." She packed a bag that night and went to her sister's. I changed the locks the next morning. The breakup was nuclear. Our friend group splintered. Some people believed me. Some believed her sob story about how I overreacted to a misunderstanding and kicked her out with nowhere to go. I lost a few friends I thought were solid. Whatever. I was hurt, but I was moving on. I threw myself into work. I kept going to the gym. I started therapy because finding your girlfriend cuddled up with another man at 2:30 a.m. does something to your head. Now here's where it gets current. About a week ago, Jessa started reaching out. First it was just texts. "I miss you. I'm so sorry. Can we talk?" I ignored them. Then it was calls from numbers I didn't recognize. I answered one, and it was her crying, saying she needed to hear my voice. I hung up and blocked that number. Then she started leaving voicemails on my actual number before I blocked her there too. The voicemails were all the same theme. Marco was a mistake. She hates him. He meant nothing. I was her true home. She'd do anything to fix us. She can't eat or sleep without me. I didn't respond to any of it. Not once. I figured silence was the loudest answer. Then Friday happened. I go to the same gym I've gone to for 4 years. It's my space, my routine. Jessa knows this because she used to come with me before she switched to Marco's gym, which should have been a red flag I ignored. I'm in the middle of my workout, finishing up on the leg press, when I walk back to the locker area to grab my bag and head out. She's standing there by the lockers, not working out, not walking through, just standing there waiting. She knows my schedule. She knew exactly when I'd be there. She looked rough. I'm not saying that to be cruel, but she genuinely looked like she hadn't slept in days. Dark circles, messy bun, baggy sweatshirt that hung off her. She looked smaller than I remembered. When she saw me, her face crumpled, and she walked toward me with this desperate energy. "Please," she said, "please just give me 5 minutes. I've been trying to reach you for weeks. I'm losing my mind. Just Just 5 minutes. I should have walked past her. I should have gone straight to my car. But I stood there. I don't know why. Maybe because part of me wanted to hear her admit what she did. Maybe because I wanted to see her face when she said Marco meant nothing after choosing him over me. Maybe because I'm an idiot. 5 minutes, I said. She launched into this whole speech. It was like she'd rehearsed it. She talked about how she realized she threw away something real for something cheap. How Marco was just attention and validation, and she was in a bad place mentally. How she hates him now, genuinely hates him, because he knew she was in a relationship and didn't care. How she's been going to therapy and working on herself. How our life together was the only time she'd ever felt truly safe. How she'd do anything, literally anything, to get me back. How she still loves me and knows I still love her, because you don't just stop loving someone after 3 years. She was crying through most of it. Real tears, or at least convincing ones. People were walking past us to get to their lockers, and she didn't even seem to notice. She was locked in. When she finally stopped talking, she just looked at me with these big, wet eyes, waiting for me to say something, waiting for me to take her back. I kept my voice calm. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't even angry at that point. I was just tired. Jessa, I said, you need to sort out your own life before you even think about bringing me into it. She looked confused, her eyebrows pulled together. What do you mean? I am sorting it out. I'm in therapy. I ended things with him completely. I blocked him on everything. My life is a mess because I lost you, not because of anything else. No, I said, I mean you need to figure out what you're going to do about the situation you're in. Her face went through about 5 different expressions in 2 seconds. Confusion, then thinking, then this flicker of something that looked like fear. But she pushed through it. I'm not in any situation. Her voice got higher. I told you, it's over with him. Completely over. I hate him. He's dead to me. There's no situation. I just looked at her for a long moment. Then I said quietly, I saw the post, Jessa. The one your sister tagged you in. The baby shower invitation. The color drained out of her face. So fast, I thought she was going to pass out. She actually reached out and grabbed the locker next to her to steady herself. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out for a few seconds. You saw that. Her voice was barely a whisper. Yeah, I said. I did. My friend Maya. Not your friend Maya, but my friend Maya from work. She's friends with someone in Carla's mom's group. She saw it and sent it to me because she thought I should know. So yeah, congratulations, I guess. She started shaking her head slowly. It's not what you think. Jessa, it's literally a baby shower invitation with your name on it, with a date, with a location. It's exactly what I think. She grabbed my arm. Her grip was strong. Mark, please listen. The baby doesn't change how I feel about you. It doesn't change anything between us. Marco is not in the picture. He's never going to be in the picture. I'm handling it on my own. I don't want him. I want you. I pulled my arm back. You're having a baby with the guy you cheated on me with. That's not a small detail. That's not something you just handle on the side. That's a whole human being who's going to exist forever and connect you to him forever. He's not going to be involved. She was getting loud again. People were starting to look. I told him I want nothing to do with him. He signed away his rights. I'm doing this alone. He signed away his rights before the baby is even born. That's not how that works, Jessa. You know that's not how that works. She started crying harder, full on sobbing now. Why are you doing this? Why are you throwing this in my face? I came here to be vulnerable with you. I came here to try to heal what we had, and you're just using this to hurt me. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to get you to understand reality. You're pregnant. You're having a baby. That has to be your focus. Not me. Not us. That baby. Before she could respond, the locker room door swung open, and 2 guys walked in. I know them both from my spin class. One is Tank, which is a nickname obviously, but everyone calls him that because he's built like one. The other is Drew, quieter guy, keeps to himself. They both stopped when they saw Jessa sobbing and me standing there with my gym bag. Tank looked at me, then at her, then back at me. Everything good here, man? Before I could answer, Jessa pointed at me. Actually pointed, like she was identifying a criminal. He's a manipulative monster. Her voice echoed off the lockers. I came here to try to heal, to be vulnerable and honest, and he's throwing my biggest fear in my face to hurt me. He's trying to control me with guilt. He won't let me move on. Tank and Drew just stared. Tank's expression shifted from concern to something harder to read. Drew looked uncomfortable, like he wanted to be anywhere else. I felt my face get hot, not embarrassed hot, angry hot, the kind of heat that starts in your chest and works its way up. Manipulative. My voice came out louder than I intended. Jessa, you cheated on me in our home. You got pregnant by that guy. You're literally growing his child. And now you want me to pretend that baby doesn't exist so you can feel better about yourself? So you can use me as your emotional support spirit animal while you figure out single motherhood? I didn't bring it up to hurt you. I brought it up because it's a fact. A giant, permanent, life-altering fact you're trying to ignore so you can crawl back to the person you destroyed. She sobbed louder. It felt performative at that point, like she was putting on a show for Tank and Drew. You see, she shrieked, this is what he does. He twists everything. He makes me feel crazy. He's been doing this our whole relationship. That set me off. I won't lie. I saw red. Our whole relationship. I was yelling now. I couldn't stop it. I'm the one who made you feel crazy. You spent 6 months hiding your phone and lying about where you were and telling me I was paranoid for asking basic questions. You brought that man into our home. You sat on our couch with him while I was driving 5 hours through the night to get back to you. And now you're standing here in my space, at my gym, calling me manipulative because I won't pretend your pregnancy with him doesn't exist. Tank stepped forward slightly. Hey man, maybe lower your voice. I turned on him. I know I shouldn't have. He wasn't the enemy, but I was so far past rational at that point. Lower my voice? She shows up here uninvited. She corners me. She lies to you about what's happening, and I need to lower my voice? Ask her why she's really here. Ask her who got her pregnant. Ask her why she's not with him right now. Tank looked at Jessa. She was just crying, not denying anything, not explaining, just crying. I don't know anything about all that, Tank said slowly, but I know she's upset and you're yelling, and maybe you should just go. Let her cool down. Handle this somewhere else. I stared at him. This guy I'd done dozens of spin classes with. This guy I'd spotted on bench press and grabbed protein shakes with. He was looking at me like I was the problem. Unbelievable, I said. I grabbed my bag off the bench. I looked back at Jessa one more time. She was watching me through her fingers, still crying, but there was something in her eyes that wasn't there before. Something that looked almost like satisfaction. I walked out. I didn't run, but I walked fast through the gym floor, past the treadmills, past the front desk, out to the parking lot. I sat in my car for 10 minutes with my hands on the wheel, just breathing. When I finally checked my phone, I had 7 messages from her, all from new numbers, because I'd blocked her main ones. They kept coming while I watched. You're such an asshole. You humiliated me in front of those people. I came to you with my heart open, and you stomped on it. You could have just said no. You didn't have to bring up the baby. You're manipulative and cruel, and I hope you're happy. I hate you. I still love you, and that's why this hurts so much. I didn't respond to any of them. I drove home. I fed the cats. I sat on my couch and stared at the wall for 2 hours. Now it's the next day, and I'm getting weird looks at the gym. Tank barely acknowledged me this morning. Drew didn't make eye contact. I saw 2 other regulars whispering when I walked past. I don't know what she told them after I left. I don't know what story she spun, but I know the energy has shifted. My phone is still blowing up from different numbers. She's relentless. The messages alternate between vicious and desperate. 1 minute she's calling me names. The next she's begging me to meet her for coffee so we can really talk without an audience. I haven't responded to anything.
Hold on tight. Before I share the full story, tap that like, subscribe, and let's talk in the comments. Would you have done the same thing?
I'm not planning to. Update 1. It's been 3 weeks since the gym confrontation. 3 weeks since Jessa cornered me by the lockers, and I made the mistake of mentioning the pregnancy. 3 weeks since Tank and Drew looked at me like I was the villain in someone else's movie. I thought that was rock bottom. I was wrong. After that night, I blocked Jessa on everything. Phone number, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, even LinkedIn because I was paranoid she'd find me there. I changed my gym schedule completely. Started going at 5 a.m. instead of 6 p.m. Different locker room, different entrance, different everything. I thought I was being smart. I thought I was protecting myself. Then Tuesday happened. I was at work. I'm a graphic designer at a small marketing firm called Vantage Creative. Been there 4 years. Good pay, decent benefits. My own cubicle with pictures of Leo and Cleo on the desk. My boss, Mr. Henderson, is usually pretty chill. He's in his 50s, wears those glasses with the transition lenses, plays golf on weekends. Not the type to get involved in drama. Around 2 p.m., I got a notification on my phone. Someone had tagged me in a Facebook post. I don't use Facebook much anymore, but I keep it for family stuff. I clicked the notification, and my stomach dropped through the floor. It was a screenshot of a Venmo request, the one I sent Jessa 2 months ago for her half of the final electric bill, $84.50. The caption on the screenshot, written by Jessa's sister Carla, said, "Look at this deadbeat trying to extort a scared, pregnant single mother for money. He got her pregnant and abandoned her. This is the man who's been harassed harassing my sister. Share so everyone knows what a piece of trash he is. She's been trying to get him to take responsibility, and he's been stalking her instead. Women need to know who they're dealing with. The post had already been shared 47 times. The comments were sitting at 89 when I first opened it. By the time I finished reading the first few, it was at 112. I scrolled through the comments in a daze. People I didn't know. People I'd never met. Calling me every name in the book. Throw him in a trash can where he belongs. My cousin dated a guy like this. Run her credit. Bet he's got debt she doesn't know about. Someone find his job and send this to his boss. Deadbeat dad of the year. Hope he enjoys paying child support for 18 years. Men like this are why I don't date anymore. His face screams, I abandon my responsibilities. Share this everywhere. Make him famous. I felt sick. Actually physically sick. Like I might throw up in my cubicle. My hands were shaking. I clicked on Carla's profile. She'd made it public specifically for this. Her header photo was a picture of Jessa, very pregnant, looking sad in a park somewhere. The caption on that photo said, single mom to be fighting for respect from a man who won't grow up. I went back to the post and started scrolling through more comments. That's when I saw one from someone I actually knew. Mike D. from high school. We hadn't talked in years, but we were still friends on Facebook. He commented, damn, I remember this guy. Always seemed quiet. Guess you never know. Someone else commented, I went to high school with him too. He was in my chemistry class. Never said much. The quiet ones are always the worst. Another person I didn't know replied to them. That's how they get away with it. They hide in plain sight. I sat there staring at my phone for I don't know how long. The notification counter kept climbing. More tags. More comments. People were sharing it to local community pages. Someone had posted it in a group called County Moms United with a caption, warning about this man. Another person put it in local singles dating scene drama with avoid this guy at all costs. My Venmo was public. I'd never changed the settings. People were going through my old transactions. I saw comments on payments from months ago. A $40 charge to my friend Chris for pizza, and beer got a comment from a stranger saying, deadbeat pays for beer, but not his kid. A $60 payment to my barber got, probably spending bill money on haircuts while his baby needs diapers. I felt like I was drowning, like I was watching my life get shredded by people who didn't know me, didn't know the situation, didn't know anything except what Carla and Jessa wanted them to know. I did something I probably shouldn't have. I commented on the post. I kept it as factual as I could because I knew anything emotional would just make me look worse. For the record, I am not the father. Jessa and I broke up because she cheated on me with her personal trainer, Marco. The baby is his. This Venmo request is for a bill from before I knew about the affair. I haven't contacted her in weeks. The harassment needs to stop. I hit post and waited. Within 3 minutes, the replies started flooding in. Oh sure, blame the pregnant woman. Classic. Cheated. She's having a baby alone. Who's the real cheater here? Even if it's not yours, you're harassing a pregnant woman over $84. Get a life. Marco, that's the guy she's with now. Yeah right. This reeks of lies. My friend knows Jessa. She said you were controlling and abusive. Now this makes sense. You're really going to deny your own child while she's posting sad photos alone in the park. You're garbage. Someone find Marco and ask him. Bet he confirms this guy is lying. I tried to respond to a few. I told one woman I didn't harass anyone. She showed up at my gym uninvited. She replied, sure she did, because pregnant women just love going to gyms to be harassed. Make it make sense. I told another person, check the date on the Venmo request. It's from before she announced the pregnancy. I didn't even know then. They replied, so you're saying you sent a bill to your pregnant ex before you knew she was pregnant? Time travel? You're not even making sense. Every reply made it worse. Every attempt to explain got twisted into more evidence against me. I finally stopped looking, but the notifications kept coming, kept piling up, kept making my phone buzz every few seconds. I turned my phone face down on my desk and tried to focus on work. I had 3 projects due by end of week. A brochure for a local dental office, social media graphics for a food truck, a logo redesign for someone's Etsy store. I couldn't focus on any of it. My brain kept running in circles. Around 4 p.m. Mr. Henderson appeared at my cubicle. He had this look on his face I'd never seen before. Not quite angry, not quite concerned, something in between. Mark, can you come to my office for a minute? I followed him. My heart was already pounding. He closed the door behind me, which he never does. He sat down behind his desk and gestured for me to sit. He pulled out his phone and turned it to show me. It was a screenshot of Carla's post. My comment was underneath it. Someone had circled my face in the Venmo profile picture. The screenshot had been sent to the company's general email. The subject line said, "Is this your employee?" The community deserves to know. I got this about an hour ago, Mr. Henderson said. Then another one. Then another one. They're still coming in, all from different email addresses, all with this same screenshot. I started talking. I told him everything. The cheating, finding them on the couch, the breakup, the pregnancy, her showing up at the gym, the locker room scene, the lies, the Facebook post, everything. I didn't leave anything out. I told him about Leo and Cleo, and the 3 years, and the phone hiding, and the personal trainer, and all of it. He listened without interrupting. When I finished, he leaned back in his chair and took his glasses off and rubbed his eyes. Look, Mark, he said, I've known you for years. You've been a solid employee. Never late, never drama. Good work. I believe you. I really do. I felt relief for about 2 seconds. But, he continued, this kind of public drama, it's not a good look for the company. We have a family-friendly image. We work with local schools. We do pro bono stuff for the children's hospital. If this gets around, if clients see it, if they start associating Vantage Creative with whatever this is, it could cost us business. You understand that, right? I nodded. I didn't trust myself to speak. I think for now, the best thing is for you to take some time off. Paid leave. A few weeks. Let this blow over. Let people move on to the next outrage. We'll reassess when things calm down. Mandatory? I asked. He looked at me for a long moment. I think it's the best option for everyone, including you. You need to be dealing with this, not sitting here trying to design logos while your phone blows up. Take the time. Handle your situation. Come back when it's resolved. I wanted to argue. I wanted to tell him that being sent home made me look guilty. That taking leave was exactly what Jessa wanted, that I hadn't done anything wrong and shouldn't have to hide. But I could see in his face that it wasn't a negotiation. It was a decision. I walked out of his office at 4:30 p.m. I grabbed my jacket, my bag, my pictures of the cats. I didn't say goodbye to anyone. I just walked through the cubicles with everyone watching me, pretending not to watch me, and got in the elevator and went down to the parking garage. That's where she was, Jessa, sitting on the hood of my car, not leaning against it, sitting on it, like she owned it, like she had every right to be there. She was wearing a maternity dress, one of those flowy ones, and she looked even bigger than she did at the gym. Her hand was resting on her stomach, like she was posing for a photo. When she saw me walking toward her, she smiled. Not a friendly smile, a small, satisfied, almost smug smile, like she'd been waiting for this moment, and it was playing out exactly how she wanted. She slid off the hood slowly, making a show of being pregnant and careful. She stood there waiting for me to get close. I stopped about 10 feet away. I couldn't make myself get closer. How did you find out where I work? My voice came out shaky. I was trying to keep it steady, but I could hear the shake underneath. She tilted her head like she was confused by the question. Oh, please. It's not hard. Your LinkedIn said Vantage Creative. Your Facebook said Vantage Creative. Your Instagram bio used to say Designing Advantage before you blocked me. You think I can't make a new account? You think I can't look? I just stared at her. She looked so pleased with herself. All I wanted, she continued, taking a step closer, was to talk to you, to try and fix what we had. But you had to be cruel. You had to throw the baby in my face in front of everyone at your little gym. So I had to get your attention another way. I had to make you understand how it feels to be humiliated. You sent that to my work. I didn't send anything. Carla posted something. People shared it. People are angry on my behalf. That's not my fault. That's just people caring about a pregnant woman being treated badly. Treated badly? My voice was getting louder. I couldn't help it. I haven't contacted you in weeks. You showed up at my gym. You showed up at my job. You're the one doing the contacting. She stepped closer. Now she was maybe 5 feet away. I could smell her perfume. The same one she always wore. The one I used to like. You could have fixed this, she said quietly. You could have just taken me back. We could have been a family. Me and you and the baby. Marco was nothing. He meant nothing. I would have raised that baby with you. We could have been happy. The baby isn't mine. It could have been ours. If you'd just been willing to try. I stared at her. I couldn't process what she was saying. It was like she lived in a completely different reality. You're insane, I said. It came out flat. Not angry. Just factual. You're actually insane. Her face changed. The softness disappeared. Her eyes got hard. You think you're so innocent. Her voice was cold now. You think you're the good guy in this? You don't know what I'm capable of. You should have just taken me back when you had the chance. Now you get to see what happens when you make an enemy out of me. This is just the beginning. She turned and walked away. Slow, deliberate steps across the parking garage. She didn't look back. She got into a car parked a few rows over. Carla was driving. They drove past me slowly. Jessa watched me through the window. No wave, no smile, just watching. I stood there in the parking garage for I don't know how long. Eventually I got in my car and drove home. I sat on my couch with Leo and Cleo and stared at the wall. I didn't eat. I didn't turn on the TV. I just sat there. The next morning I woke up to more notifications. Carla had posted again. This time it was a screenshot of my comment on her original post. She'd circled my denial about being the father. Her caption said, "Look at this. He's denying his own baby, denying it publicly. My sister is is at home crying while this man lies to protect himself. She never cheated. Marco is a friend she leaned on after he abandoned her. But go ahead, believe him. See where that gets you. We have proof. We have messages. We have everything. He's about to find out what happens when you mess with the wrong family. The comments were even worse this time. Take him to court for defamation. He's lying about her character. Someone needs to beat some sense into him. I hope he loses his job. I hope everyone knows who he really is. Post his address. Let's have a conversation with him. His cats probably aren't even safe with him. Someone rescue those cats. Someone had found my Venmo photo and edited it onto a wanted poster. Someone else had made a meme with my face and the words, "I don't know her," with the baby emoji. It had been shared 200 times. I spent the next 2 days in my apartment. I didn't go out. I ordered grocery delivery and had them leave it at the door. I didn't answer calls from unknown numbers. I didn't check Facebook. I didn't check Instagram. I just existed in my apartment with my cats and tried not to think about the fact that my life was being destroyed by lies.
Hold on tight. Before I share the full story, tap that like, subscribe, and let's talk in the comments. Would you have done the same thing?
On Saturday, my friend Chris showed up. The same Chris from the pizza and beer Venmo. He'd been texting me, but I'd been giving short answers. He came over unannounced with a six-pack and a look on his face that I recognized. It was the look people get when they're about to tell you something you don't want to hear. "We need to talk," he said. We sat on my couch. He cracked open a beer. I didn't touch mine. "I saw the posts," he said. "Everyone's seen the posts. My girlfriend showed me. Her whole mom's group is sharing it. They're calling you a deadbeat. They're saying you should be in jail. It's not true. I know it's not true. I was there. I saw you after you found them. I helped you move her stuff to storage. I know Marco exists because you showed me his Instagram, but that doesn't matter. What matters is what people believe." I didn't say anything. My girlfriend's mom's group. They're planning something. I don't know what, but they're sharing your work address. They're sharing the name of your company. Someone posted the address of this apartment building. I saw it before it got taken down. I felt cold. Actually cold. Like someone had dropped my body temperature 10 degrees. They're coming after me? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. You need to do something. You need to fight back. Post the proof. Show the messages. Show something. Because right now they're winning and you're just sitting here. I don't have proof. I never recorded her. I never saved the texts because I didn't think I'd need to prove my own life. Chris ran his hands through his hair. "Then you need to get out of here for a while. Go somewhere. Stay with your parents. Stay with anyone. This is going to get worse before it gets better." That night I couldn't sleep. I kept checking the window. Kept expecting to see people outside. Kept waiting for something to happen. Nothing did, but the waiting was almost worse. Sunday morning I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't open it, but something made me look. It was a photo, a screenshot of a conversation between Jessa and someone named Tara. I didn't know Tara, but the conversation made my blood run cold. Jessa, he's denying everything. Won't take responsibility. Tara, what does Marco say? Jessa, Marco won't talk to me. He's scared of the situation, but I have screenshots of Mark admitting it. Tara admitting what? Jessa admitting the baby could be his. We weren't exclusive when I got pregnant. There was overlap. He knows there's a chance. Tara, oh my God. So he's lying about the cheating? Jessa, he's lying about everything. I was confused. I made mistakes, but he's acting like he's innocent when he was there too. When he was part of it. He just doesn't want to pay child support. I read it 3 times. 4 times. I couldn't stop reading it. She was building a whole alternate reality. Not just lying about the present, but rewriting the past. Making me part of the conception. Making me responsible. I texted back, "Who is this?" They responded, "Someone who thinks you should know what she's saying. She's telling everyone you're the father. She's telling people she has proof. I don't know if it's true, but she's convincing." I asked, "Why are you telling me this?" They responded, "Because I was cheated on once, and someone lied about me too. I know what it feels like to be erased. Be careful." I tried to ask more questions, but they didn't respond. I still don't know who Tara is. I don't know if she's real or if this was some kind of trap, but the screenshot looked real. The conversation looked real, and if it was real, Jessa was escalating in ways I hadn't even imagined. Monday morning I woke up to an email, not from a stranger, from my landlord. Subject line, complaint received. The email said they'd received an anonymous complaint about disorderly conduct and domestic disturbances coming from my apartment. They said if there were further complaints, they have to review my lease. They said they hoped everything was okay and reminded me of the building's quiet hours. I haven't had a single disturbance. I haven't had anyone over. The only noise from my apartment is the TV and occasionally my cats knocking knocking things off shelves. Someone had called in a fake complaint. Someone was trying to get me evicted. I called Chris. He came over again. We sat on my couch, and I showed him everything. The Facebook posts, the work emails, the landlord email, the screenshot from Tara. This is crazy, he said. This is actually crazy. She's trying to destroy your whole life. I know. What are you going to do? I thought about it. I thought about all of it. The gym, the parking garage, the Facebook lies, the work leave, the landlord, the strangers calling me names, the people who used to be my friends giving me weird looks, the complete unraveling of everything I'd built. I don't know, I said. I don't know what to do. Every time I try to defend myself, it makes it worse. Every time I say something, they twist it. Every time I stay quiet, they fill the silence with more lies. Chris was quiet for a minute. Then he said something I haven't been able to stop thinking about. You need to decide what you're willing to lose, because right now you're losing everything by doing nothing. But if you fight back, you might lose different things. There's no right answer. There's just choices. I haven't made a choice yet. I'm still sitting here in my apartment with Leo and Cleo, watching the notifications pile up, waiting for the next shoe to drop. I don't know what Jess is going to do next. I don't know if Marco exists, or if she made him up, or if he's as real as the lies she's telling. I don't know who Tara is, or why she reached out. I don't know if my job will still be there when this is over. I don't know if I'll still have this apartment. I don't know if I'll still have friends when people finally decide which side they're on. What I know is that 3 weeks ago I was a guy with a broken heart and a cheating ex. Now I'm a guy with no job, no reputation, and a landlord who thinks I'm running a domestic disturbance ring out of my one-bedroom apartment. And Jess is out there somewhere, getting bigger every day, building her narrative, gathering her army, waiting for her next move. I'll update when there's something to update, or when I figure out what to do, or when she finally does whatever she's planning next. Thanks for reading. Thanks for the messages from people who've been through similar. Thanks for the reality checks. I'm still reading everything even if I'm not responding. This is just where things are right now. Update 2. After the landlord email, after the Facebook posts, after everything with work, I thought I'd hit bottom. I was wrong. There were deeper bottoms. There were sub-basements of hell I didn't know existed. Week 4 started with a knock on my door. Not my apartment door, but the building door downstairs. I ignored it. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. I ignored that too. Then a text from another unknown number. We know you're in there. Open the door. I looked out my window. 3 people were standing outside my building. 2 women I didn't recognize, and 1 man holding his phone up like he was recording. I stayed away from the window and watched from the side. They stood there for about 20 minutes. Eventually a neighbor came out and they talked to her. I saw her point up at my floor. Then they left. That night I got an Instagram message from that neighbor. Hey Mark, some people were asking about you today. Said you owe child support and skipped town. I told them I didn't know anything, but they seemed really angry. Just wanted to give you a heads up. I thanked her and blocked 3 more numbers. Week 5, the flyer started. I came home from getting groceries and found one taped to the building door. It had my picture, the same one from the Venmo screenshot. Underneath it said, wanted for questioning. This man abandons pregnant women and lies about it. If you see him, message this page. There was a Facebook page name I didn't recognize. I ripped it down, but more appeared. On light posts, on the community bulletin board by the mailboxes, on cars in the parking lot. Someone had made at least 50 of them. I spent that night going around the neighborhood ripping down flyers with my face on them. I felt like a criminal. I felt like I was cleaning up evidence of a crime I didn't commit. Week 6, my car got keyed. I came out to the parking lot, and there it was, a long scratch down the driver's side door, deep enough that you could see the metal underneath. I stood there staring at it for a long time. Then I got in and drove to a repair shop. $1,200 I didn't really have. The guy at the shop asked if I knew who did it. I said no. He gave me a look like he didn't believe me. Week 7, Chris stopped returning my texts. I don't blame him anymore. I did at the time. I sat in my apartment staring at my phone waiting for him to respond, and he never did. I found out later from a mutual friend that his girlfriend had told him to cut me off, that her whole mom's group was still sharing my face and calling me a deadbeat, and that being associated with me was making her life hard. Chris chose her. I can't say I wouldn't have done the same. That same week, Mr. Henderson called, not to tell me I could come back, to tell me they were restructuring and my position was being eliminated. They'd send my last paycheck by mail. He sounded sorry. He also sounded relieved to be getting rid of the problem. I was officially unemployed. Officially unemployable if anyone Googled my name. Now we get to week 8. This is the part that still doesn't feel real when I think about it. It was a Tuesday. I know because I'd started marking days on a calendar just to prove time was still passing. I was sitting on my couch with Leo in my lap, half watching some show I wasn't paying attention to, when my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Something made me answer. Mark. It wasn't Jessa. It was a man's voice. face. Low, tense. Who is this? It's Marco. I sat up so fast Leo jumped off my lap and gave me a dirty look. Marco, the personal trainer, the one Jessa cheated with, the one who supposedly signed away his rights and disappeared, the one I'd convinced myself might not even be real. How did you get my number? I got it from an old client list. Jessa used to have your info saved in my phone from when she booked sessions for you both. I kept it. I don't know why. I just kept it. I didn't say anything. I was waiting for the trap. I need to talk to you. In person. It's about Jessa. It's about the baby. I'm not meeting you anywhere. For all I know, you're working with her. You're part of this. I'm not part of anything. I haven't seen her in months. She's been telling everyone I signed away my rights, that I abandoned her, that I was just a friend she leaned on. None of it's true. Then what's true? He was quiet for a long time. I could hear him breathing. She's been lying about everything. To you, to me, to everyone. The baby isn't mine either. The words didn't process at first. They just hung there in the air between us. What do you mean the baby isn't yours? I mean I'm not the father. I never was. She told me she was on birth control. She told me there was no risk. Then she got pregnant and told me it was mine. But the timing doesn't work. I did the math. I'm not stupid. I confronted her and she flipped out. Said I was trying to abandon her like you did. Said she'd ruin me too if I didn't play along. Play along with what? With being the father. With paying for everything. With being her backup plan. While she tried to get you back. She's been playing both of us since day one. You were the safe one. The stable one. The one she actually wanted. I was just, I don't know what I was. Distraction. Revenge. Something to pass the time while she figured out how to fix things with you. I stood up and started pacing. Leo watched me from the armchair. Why are you telling me this now? Because she's about to have the baby. Any day now. And she's been telling people it could be yours. That there was overlap. That you're a possibility. She's setting you up to be the father. To pay child support. To be tied to her forever. I never slept with her during any overlap. There was no overlap. I was faithful the whole time. I know. I believe you. But she doesn't need it to be true. She just needs people to believe it could be true. That's how she works. She creates doubt and then feeds it until everyone's confused enough to give her what she wants. I stopped pacing. Why should I trust you? You helped her destroy my life. You were there that night. You were on my couch with my girlfriend. I know. His voice cracked. I know what I did. I was weak. I was stupid. I thought she actually cared about me. I thought I was special. I wasn't. I was just a tool she used to blow up her life so she could blame someone else for the pieces. What do you want from me? I want to meet. I want to show you something. Proof. Texts. Dates. Everything. And then I want to figure out what we do next because she's not going to stop. She's never going to stop. And I can't live like this anymore. We met the next day at a coffee shop halfway between us. I almost didn't go. I sat in my car in the parking lot for 20 minutes trying to decide if this was another trap, if Jessa was waiting somewhere to film me talking to him, if this was all part of whatever game she was playing. I went inside anyway. Marco looked nothing like I expected. In my head, he was still the guy from that night. Smug, confident, comfortable on my couch with my girlfriend. The guy sitting at a corner table with a coffee he wasn't drinking looked wrecked. Dark circles, messy hair, hands shaking slightly when he reached for his cup. He had a folder on the table, thick, stuffed with papers. I've been documenting everything, he said when I sat down. Every text, every voicemail, every lie. I started doing it when she first threatened me. I don't know why. Instinct, I guess. Something felt wrong. He pushed the folder toward me. I opened it. The first page was a screenshot of a text conversation. Jessa's name at the top. The date from 5 months ago, before I found out.
Hold on tight. Before I share the full story, tap that like, subscribe, and let's talk in the comments. Would you have done the same thing?
Before any of it exploded. Jessa, he's suspicious. He keeps asking about you. Marco, what did you tell him? Jessa, that you're just my trainer. That he's being paranoid. Marco, maybe we should cool it for a while. Jessa, no. I need you. He's so boring. He never wants to do anything. He just wants to stay home with those stupid cats. I can't breathe in that apartment. I turned the page. More texts. More dates. More of her talking about me like I was an inconvenience she hadn't figured out how to dispose of yet. He saved those. I asked. He didn't save them. I did. Every time she texted me, I screenshot it. Every time she called, I recorded it. I don't know why. Maybe because some part of me knew she was dangerous. I kept reading. The texts got worse. Her talking about how she was going to handle me. How she was going to make sure I didn't take everything in the breakup. How she needed to control the narrative before I could. Then I got to the part about the pregnancy. The date was 4 months ago. 2 months before I found out. Before before she even knew. Jessa, I'm late. Marco, late for what? Jessa, my period. I'm late. Marco, you said you were on birth control. Jessa, I am, but sometimes it fails. Don't freak out yet. I'll take a test. Marco, if you're pregnant, it's not mine. I wore protection every time. Jessa, protection fails too. Marco, Jessa, if you're pregnant, we need to talk about this. Jessa, we'll talk after I take the test. Don't say anything to anyone. The next screenshot was 3 days later. Jessa, it's positive. Marco, fuck. Jessa, don't swear at me. This is happening. We need to figure it out. Marco, figure out what? I told you. I used protection. I was careful. Jessa, nothing is 100%. You know that. We'll figure it out together. Marco, together? You're still with him. You're living with him. How is this going to work? Jessa, let me handle him. I'll figure it out. I looked up at Marco. He was watching me, waiting for my reaction. She was already pregnant when I found you on the couch. He nodded. She knew for at least 2 weeks before that night. She didn't tell me she was going to invite me over. She just said she needed to see me, that things were hard, that you were being distant. I was stupid. I went. I turned back to the folder. More screenshots. More messages. Her telling Marco she was going to leave me. Her telling him to be patient. Her telling him she loved him. Then, after I kicked her out, the tone shifted. Jessa, he kicked me out. He knows. Marco knows what? Jessa, about us. About everything. He came home early. Marco, what did you tell him? Jessa, nothing. He didn't give me a chance to explain. Marco, explain what? We were on his couch at 2 a.m. What's to explain? Jessa, you're not helping. Marco, I'm not trying to help. I'm trying to figure out what happens now. With the baby. With us. Jessa, there is no us. There never was. You were just. I don't know what you were, but it's over. Marco, over? I'm the father of your child. Jessa, you're not the father. You're just someone I made a mistake with. The father is Mark. It has to be Mark. I stopped reading. My hands were shaking. She was going to claim the baby was mine from the beginning, from the moment you found out. She told me flat out that you were the better option. Stable job. Own apartment. No drama. I was just a trainer with a room in a shared house. She was always going to pick you if she could, but I didn't take her back. Right. So then she moved to plan B. Make you look so bad that no one would believe you. Make herself look so victimized that everyone would support her. And keep me on the hook as backup in case you still said no. I flipped through more pages. There were dozens, hundreds, a complete record of her manipulation stretching back months. Why didn't you come forward sooner? I asked. Marco looked down at the table. Fear, shame. She threatened me. Said she'd tell everyone I assaulted her if I didn't cooperate. Said she'd ruin my career. Said she'd make sure I never worked in fitness again. I believed her. I still believe her. She could do it. She could absolutely do it. What changed? I saw the flyers. The ones with your face. Someone posted a picture of one on Instagram, and it got shared into a local fitness group I'm in. I saw it and I couldn't anymore. I couldn't watch her destroy someone else while I hid. I've been hiding for months. I'm tired of hiding. I sat back in my chair. The folder sat between us, like a bomb waiting to go off. We need to go to the police, I said. We can't. Why not? Because there's no crime. Not really. She lied. She manipulated. She ruined reputations. But that's not illegal. Not in a way that sticks. We go to the police, and they ask what we want them to do. We show them texts, and they say it's a civil matter. We're just 2 guys she cheated on. The system isn't built for this. Then what do? Marco leaned forward. For the first time since I sat down, I saw something other than fear in his eyes. Something harder. We go public together. We release everything. Every text, every screenshot, every lie. We tell the truth so loudly that her version can't survive. We take away her audience. That'll destroy her. She tried to destroy us. Both of us. She's about to bring a child into the world, and she was planning to spend the next 18 years using that child to control someone. Either you or me. Someone was going to be trapped. Why should we protect her from the consequences of her own choices? I thought about it. I thought about the flyers, the keyed car, the lost job, the lost friends, the neighbors looking at me like I was a monster, the strangers sending death threats, the cats that hid every time my phone buzzed because they'd learned to associate the sound with my distress. When? I asked. Now. Today. I have everything ready. A website, a document dump, a social media post scheduled to go live at 6 p.m. But I wanted to tell you first, give you a chance to decide if you're in or out. I'm in. We spent the next 4 hours at that coffee shop going through everything, organizing it chronologically, making sure dates lined up, making sure there was no way to twist it. Marco had receipts for everything. Hotel charges from nights she told me she was with friends, text timestamps that contradicted her claims, voicemails where she threatened him, screenshots where she plotted. At 5:55 p.m., I got a text from an unknown number. Jessa, I heard you met with Marco. Whatever he told you is lies. He's obsessed with me. He's dangerous. We need to talk before you do something stupid. I didn't respond. At 6 p.m., the post went live. Marco had created a public Instagram account called The Truth About Jessa with a pinned post that simply said, read the documents, look at the dates, decide for yourself. The account linked to a Google Drive folder folder with everything. Hundreds of screenshots, organized by month. Voicemail recordings transcribed. A timeline of events from her first messages to him to the flyers with my face. Within an hour, it had been shared 500 times. Within 3 hours, 5,000. The comments started flooding in. I know her. She was in my birthing class. She told everyone there her ex abandoned her. The dates don't lie. She was texting him about trapping Mark before she even told Marco she was pregnant. This is insane. She built a whole fake reality. Someone send this to Carla. Let's see her defend this. I shared this in every local group I'm in. People need to see. Carla's Facebook page went private within 2 hours. Her posts disappeared one by one. By midnight, the original post calling me a deadbeat had been deleted. My phone started blowing up again, but this time it was different. Oh my God, Mark, I'm so sorry I believed her. I shared that first post. I'm deleting it now. I can't believe I was part of this. You didn't deserve any of this. I hope you're okay. I know we haven't talked in years, but I wanted to say I'm sorry for what people did to you. Chris texted, I'm an idiot. I'm so sorry. Can we talk? I didn't respond to any of them. Not yet. I was too drained, too empty, too far past caring what any of them thought. At 2 a.m., Jessa called from another unknown number. I answered. Take it down. Her voice was shaking. Not crying, shaking. Angry, shaking. Take it down right now. No, you're destroying me. You're destroying my life. I'm about to have a baby. I have nothing. You're taking the only thing I had left. You mean your lies? Your reputation? The story you built on my back. I did what I had to do. You don't understand. You've never understood. I was scared. I was alone. I made mistakes, but I didn't deserve this. You didn't have to destroy me. You tried to destroy me first. You tried to take everything. My job, my friends, my home, my peace. You made strangers hate me. You made people threaten me. You keyed my car. You put flyers with my face on light posts. And now you're surprised that I fought back. Silence. Then quieter. I just wanted you to love me. I did love you. For 3 years I loved you. And you used that love to destroy me. I didn't mean to. You meant to. Every step of the way you meant to. You just didn't think you'd get caught. She started crying. Real crying this time. Or at least better acting than before. What am I supposed to do now? Everyone hates me. My sister won't talk to me. Marco won't talk to me. The baby's coming any day. And I have nothing. That's not my problem. It was never my problem. You made it my problem, and I'm done letting it be my problem. Figure out your own life. Leave me out of it. I hung up. I blocked the number. I sat on my couch with Leo and Cleo and waited for the sun to come up. The next few days were chaos. The post kept spreading. Local news picked it up. Not the big stations, but the community blogs, the neighborhood watch pages, the drama in our town accounts. They ran stories with headlines like "Local woman accused of elaborate scheme to trap ex-boyfriend," and screenshots revealed truth behind viral deadbeat claims. Carla made one last attempt to defend her sister. She posted a video on Facebook saying the screenshots were fake, that Marco and I had conspired to destroy a vulnerable pregnant woman, that we were both abusive and controlling, and this was proof. But people had seen too much. The dates were too clear, the threats too specific. Her video got ratioed into oblivion, and she deleted it within hours. Marco and I talked once more. A brief phone call where we both acknowledged that we'd probably never speak again after this, and that was fine. We weren't friends. We weren't allies. We were just two people who got caught in the same hurricane and needed to rebuild. I'm leaving town, he said. Too much damage here. Too many people who only know the version she told. I need a fresh start. Good luck. You too. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. For that night. For everything after. I should have been better. You should have. He didn't argue. He just said goodbye and hung up. 2 weeks passed. I started getting interview calls. Not for jobs I applied for, but for jobs that found me. People who'd seen the story, who understood what happened, who wanted to give me a chance. I took one at a small design studio across town. New faces, new energy, no one looking at me sideways. The landlord dropped the complaint. Apologized actually. Said they understood now and hoped I'd stay. I'm still there. Leo and Cleo seemed relieved the phone stopped buzzing so much. Jessa had the baby, a girl. I only know because someone sent me the birth announcement before I blocked them. I didn't respond. I didn't look at the photo. That child has nothing to do with me, and I want it to stay that way. I don't know where Jessa is now. I've heard rumors that she moved in with her mom, that she's trying to get on some reality TV show about dating, that she's telling people Marco is the father again now that I'm unavailable. I don't know if any of it's true, and I don't care anymore. Chris came by last week, brought beer, apologized for real this time, said his girlfriend left him, that the whole situation made her realize she didn't trust his judgment, that he lost someone because he was too scared to stand by a friend. I didn't have much to say. I accepted his apology, but I don't know know if we'll ever be what we were. Some things don't come back. Tank from the gym sent me a message on Instagram. A long one. Said he was sorry for how he acted that day, that he'd seen the documents, that he understood now. Said if I ever wanted to come back to the gym, he'd spot me anytime. I haven't replied. Maybe I will eventually. Maybe I won't. The flyers are gone. Someone went around and took them all down. I don't know who. I like not knowing. It feels better to imagine it was just some random person doing a decent thing rather than anyone I used to know. My name still comes up if you search certain combinations of words. Deadbeat and Mark and Jessa still bring up old posts that never got deleted. But the top results now are the truth. The document dump, the news articles, the screenshots that prove what really happened. The internet has a long memory, but at least now it remembers both sides. I don't know what Jessa tells her daughter about any of this. I don't know if she's capable of honesty even now. I don't know if Marco found his fresh start or if he's still running. I don't know if Carla ever apologized to the people she helped hurt. I don't know if any of them lost sleep over what they did. What I know is that I wake up every morning in my apartment with my cats and my coffee and my quiet life. I go to a job where no one looks at me like I'm a monster. I come home and watch bad TV and don't check my notifications because there's nothing to check. I'm not okay. Not really. I don't know if I'll ever be okay in the way I was before. There's a part of me that's always waiting now, always expecting the next attack, always looking over my shoulder, always wondering if she'll find a new way to reach me, a new angle, a new lie. But I'm here. I'm still here. And she's not. The end. Jessa is a cheating, lying, baby-trapping psycho who turned your life into a public crucifixion because you wouldn't play stepdad to her trainers or whoever's kid. She gaslit you for months, ambushed you at the gym, sabotaged your job, plastered your face on deadbeat flyers, got your car key, almost got you evicted, and weaponized every pregnancy sympathy card in the deck. When you finally clapped back with Marco's mountain of screenshots, her whole victim empire collapsed like a house of cards in a hurricane. Roast Jessa, you manipulative dumpster fire. You didn't want love. You wanted a free ride, a scapegoat, and an audience to applaud your tears. Congrats on birthing a kid while torching your own life and everyone else's. Hope the stretch marks remind you daily that karma has receipts.nta. Not even a little. You survived a masterclass in narcissistic destruction and came out swinging truth instead of fists. Block, heal, keep the cats fed. She's the villain. You're the guy who refused to stay buried. End of story. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Got a story to share? Drop it in the comments and let us know which one was your favorite.